And I am the course creator for this course, the Accelerated Performance course for the top 10%. I'll tell you a story of how this course came to be in a matter of moments. We'll just give people a few more minutes to join and get situated, and then we can start off full on. So again, if you're watching on Instagram, please use the link in my bio to join here. Otherwise, you can't see what I'm sharing on the screen. It's power packed. We have a lot for you today. So and if you're here, I'll say this a couple of times. If you're here till the end of the course, I will be giving you a link that you can use to get this course. And I had it open there a few minutes ago. If you go on the Udemy website today, that course is actually I think 39 or so, but that's when they're doing offers. On a normal day, that course is about I think 119 euro to buy that course, because it's 3 powerful modules. It's 119 euro on a normal day, but today I will be giving you a link so you can get that course for as cheaply as possible. And it's going to cost you only 9 euro to get that course. I'm only doing that because of the people who are here online with me, and it's a way of me saying thank you for the love and support. I really appreciate it. And of course, you can't just say, it's not just saying it, you have to actually show it. So I really appreciate people. I appreciate the support I'm getting from everyone, the love I'm getting from everyone. You've taken this time to be with us today, so I don't take that for granted. For that reason, I have to show some appreciation for you joining us today, and that's my way of showing appreciation. So at some point during the webinar today, I will be sending out the link for that, so you can go straight into Udemy and just get the course. The good thing about Udemy is, especially for this course, it's a lifetime access. You don't have to start the course immediately. You can get it and just leave it there for whenever you're ready. Whenever you're ready, you can go into the course and use it. It's a lifetime access whenever you want, and you can share it with whoever you want to share it with as well. So it's good that it's lifetime access. And so we have a few more people online. We have my Joseph. I know if no one has joined this thing, Joseph will be here. He's not a friend. He's a brother. He's my brother. Whatever we do, we encourage each other. He's always there for me. So I know Joseph will be here. I'm expecting a few more people. I know there'll be a few more people joining us on this webinar. So I'm just trying to let people get situated. It's gonna be we're gonna be here for a little bit of time. So if you need a glass of wine, if you need a cup of coffee, whatever you need, just get what you need to get situated, and we will kick off with the content in a matter of moments. Again, I see a few people watching on Instagram. I've left that open because I know people will be joining through there, but please use the link in my bio. If you just click on it, all you need to enter is your name. You enter your name and you'll be here with us, and you'll be able to see my screen. You see everything I'm sharing. And I will be sharing a lot of good content here today. I took a good bit of time to actually put together a lot of slides. And just to whet your appetite, I have a lot about, I'm not going to bore you with the science of habits. My goal as a course creator is this. I take well-established science and research, and I break it down into something that you and I can use and apply it to our lives. What does it mean for us? Like, for example, when you hear the news, when you get the news on Twitter or whatever, you already know what's going on out there. But people still watch CNN, people watch BBC, people watch RTE News. Why do they watch it? It's because they just need someone to put it in context for them. What does it really mean for us? It's not like you don't already know what's going on out there, but someone then puts it in context for us and what it means for the future. And that's what I do with this, with when I create courses. So I pull together threads of knowledge from nothing I tell you can get from the internet. Okay, everything we share, they're all somewhere lurking in the internet somewhere. So you can always get it somewhere. It's a matter of you going, finding everything and trying to assess everything, which takes a good bit of time, and what does it mean? How do you even fit it all together? But what I do is I pull together those threads of knowledge and create one formula that you can conveniently plug into and harness the best version of you. That's what I do. I pull together threads of knowledge and turn it into one formula that you can plug into and go just like that. And that's what I've done today with this habits, habit webinar. And let me start by I've introduced who we are. I am Harrison Amorodian, and I'm the course creator for the. Okay, I see a few more people joining us there now. There's Kenny and there is Bola. Thank you so much for joining us, Kenny and Bola. God bless you. And so we sorry, just a second. I have a few messages here, and I've been getting a lot of questions about the course as well. So I'll be reading a few questions to you guys, and I will try and answer some of those questions, because I know that if people have these questions about habits, there's a good chance that you probably have the same questions or the same question. So please confirm for me, Kenny, that you can hear me loud and clear. I just want to make sure, because to be honest, I can hear myself. And like I said before, this is the first time for this for me. I've never used this setup before. I've never used the Crowdcast software before. I've never used any of this before. And it's a huge funny story, and I'll tell you all about it today. But this is all new for me. Please let me, yes, I can, bro. Thank you so much, Kenny. God bless you. Thank you for confirming that for me. So few questions I want to read out to you. It says, my boyfriend lacks interest in anything. How do I motivate him to get him off the sofa? So I'm sure a few people have the same question as well. You have someone close to you who just isn't motivated about anything, or it might even be yourself, like you're just not motivated about anything. So how do you get out of that headspace? We'll be looking at that at some point today. I'll try and answer some of these questions. How do I keep focused on the important with all the distractions constantly in our lives? Yeah, we have insane amount of distractions these days. Like some people are actually addicted to their phones. If we're being honest, people are addicted to their phones. It's just the life we're living these days. And if you don't limit people's access to your time, if you don't control how you manage your time, if you don't have that habit of time management, again, it's part of the accelerated performance course. It's there, time management. If you don't know how to manage your time, you'll often find that sometimes the whole day you're just busy, running around the whole place. And at the end of the week, you can't really account for what you use your time for, which isn't good. So, okay, we have a few more people joining us as well. So more questions here. It says, how do I stay motivated when I'm not seeing results immediately? Okay, I think it's something to do with maybe he'll see results down the road, but right now he's not seeing results. So how do you stay motivated? And this is one of the reasons why people give up. Someone may start exercising, trying to lose weight, and then eventually what happens is, they don't see progress. Or I've seen situations where someone is trying to lose weight and then they started adding weight. That's demoralizing. It's demotivating. Eventually you just want to quit. So we'll try and answer that as well. Have your positive habits changed? I think that one is to me personally. So I have a few more here, and I will try and answer those as we go along. So once again, welcome everybody to the live webinar. I'm very happy to have you all here. And if I'm speaking too fast as well, please let me know. It's one of those things. When you're nervous, you speak faster, trying to compensate. But I think all the nerves are gone out at this stage. I have all my people around me, so I'm happy and I'm comfortable now. So if you need anything, get comfortable, and we will start sharing some of the contents as soon as possible. So. Thank you, Vicky. You're very kind. Thank you for your kind comments. I appreciate that. Yes, that means a lot. So one thing is this, yeah. I see this a lot, and I don't know if it's because of where we're coming from as a people. Maybe because we've come from a place of lack. When someone does something, we all kind of feel like, oh, now she has done it. Now I can't do it anymore. But if we learn to support each other, what I've learned is you may actually find opportunity within what someone else is doing if we learn to support each other. So it's important that we support each other. And I say that because of the love and support I'm getting from people here today and, throughout this entire journey. Let's continue to love and support each other. It's very important if we're going to grow as a nation of people. Okay. So here's a story. First, I have a couple of small stories for you today. First one was I got a call at the end of March. My original plan for the COVID was I was going to take the time to try and structure some of the content that I have and I've been talking about for a while now. My plan was to put them all together, into YouTube videos that people can easily watch and, because for me, it's not really about the views or the number of people. It's just having it somewhere so that I'm not having to repeat myself every time someone comes to me for guidance or mentorship. So the plan was to actually put all those together during COVID. But then I got a call saying, asking if I can create a course. And so I started working on it, and I had the liberty to actually create whatever course I wanted to create. So I started working on it, and what happened was, I think 3-4 months down the road, everything was going great. And this is me in the room, locked away for 3 months. It wasn't easy. There was a lot of reading involved. Someone asked the question the other day, how many books do you read in a year? And I was like, maybe between 10 or so, I don't know. But this year alone, I've read over 20 already, and we're only just a little bit more than halfway through the year. So it's been a lot of reading, a lot of research, trying to fit together everything, trying to make sense of everything, turn it into something that people can actually use, not just bits and pieces of knowledge all over the place that makes sense, but you don't know how they fit together. So I was working on that for a good bit, and eventually the plan started to fall apart. And you can imagine how I felt when I realized, where we were supposed to launch the course, it wasn't going to work out that way anymore. So the plan changed a little bit, and I wasn't so happy, but eventually I decided, okay, it's fine. We can always launch the course into another website, and we decided to go with Udemy. This is me a little bit more happy. So the course idea for me was a very first time for me. I've never done anything like this before. Putting the entire course together, it was a little bit challenging, but I can't keep telling people to go out of their comfort zone if I don't go out of my comfort zone as well. And this actually challenged me in many different ways. So you have to actually take on challenges, because in the end of the challenge, you see that it's changed you in ways that you didn't even think was possible. So this was first time for me. And then one other thing was when the plan changed, was a stressful day for me, because I then realized they were supposed to do the marketing and the show this course to people and do all of these things that I'm doing right now, organize events for the course. And I was happy, because I don't like having to organize anything. It's just not my thing. So when I first realized, Harrison, you're probably going to have to organize a webinar, because I Googled it. How do you launch a course by yourself? And I realized one of the best ways is to do a webinar. I'm not doing a webinar. I'm not doing a webinar. There's no way I'm doing a webinar. I kept thinking about it. But I realized the reason is because my whole life, I don't organize anything. I've never actually organized a birthday party. So I've never organized any party. I don't feel like it's me to bring people together. It's just not my thing. So I was very reluctant about it. So eventually I made peace with the idea that I may have to actually organize this webinar to show the course to people. And so I started Googling, how do you do webinars? What do you need? Hence, first time for this program I'm using, first time for the microphone. I had to Google that. What kind of microphone do I need? What headphones do I need? What setup do I need to have? Everything was all fresh for me. About a month or two ago, I was stressing about all of these things because it's all new for me. And the part about gathering people, I've always had this fear that what if I organize a party and no one shows up, like, so I just don't do parties. I don't. But this for me was like overcoming my fear as well, just so that's why I said before that when you take on challenges, it changes you in ways, it pushes you to areas that you've never gone before. So this is new for me, and I'm very happy that I'm doing it. I'm very grateful. This is great now. And so that's the story. But this is take this photo as me, when I was younger, when I was little. It's one of the stories that cuts across the entire course, how I have transformed as a person. When I was younger, and I mentioned in the video that you may have watched already there, I still do. I forget things very quickly. I have to, if I turn the camera around now, you see the amount of notes I have all over the place to remind me of everything. Even the title of the course is somewhere around here, because I know I may actually forget. It's just the way I am. But it's overcoming all of that in ways that I have actually overcome it that I try to share in this course. So this is me well, that's not me. Well, you get the point. I would come back from school, walk all the way from school, and it was a good bit of journey. Get home, and then my mom would be like, Harrison, where's your school bag? Then I turn around and be like, oh, I forgot. I don't know how you walk all the way from you go to school with your school bag. You know that you had your school bag, and then you walk all the way back home and not remember to bring your backpack home. And that was just me. Like, I had this. I think I know what it's called now, but back then I didn't even know what it is. I just know that I forget things very quickly. But I have to think about ways to actually help me overcome that. And one of the ways was to recruit the habit of making a lot of notes about different things. And it may seem like an obvious thing, but at the time you wouldn't. Like, I didn't know like what to do about it. I was always stressing about trying to remember things. And then building the right habits around that changed it for me. That changed it for me. So, and this is me now. That was the day of my Viva, my PhD Viva, and I stood there for, well, the Viva took 3 hours of me talking to a bunch of people who have over 40 years experience in the area of chemistry. 3 hours. I had to remember every single thing. Well, I didn't really have to remember, but you get the point. It's been a long journey, but we found a way to overcome. And if you learn to recruit the right habits into your life, you can do anything. It's a matter of picking the right habits. And today I will be showing you how to pick the right habits that you need to get to where you need to be. All right. So we all have someone like this in our office or wherever you work. Okay. Meet Gabriela. Gabriela is someone that at first glance you would think, maybe she's just playing politics in the office. What does she think she is? She's always like trying to get people to like her, she's always a show off. But Gabriela is peculiar because she doesn't start a day until it's finished in her diary the night before. So before she goes to bed, she's already planned out her entire day, her entire next day. In the weekend, she already knows how the next week is going to be like. That's Gabriela. It may seem like she's always trying to show off, but she knows how to pick the right habits that would, sorry, the right projects that would show off the best of her skills. That's Gabriela. Gabriela, fun, you would see that Gabriela talks to a lot of people in the office, but there are key people as well that she makes a point of, she makes it a habit to always contact these people, because she knows that not everyone in that office can get her to where she wants to go. So she makes key relationship with key people that can get her to where she needs to be. And she picks the right project that will showcase her skill to the right people. That's Gabriela. And we all know one or two Gabrielas in the office. So what you should know is that Gabriela, she didn't just get there just like that. She took her time and she recruited all the right habits that she needs to be a top performer. If you've noticed, there are times where you go off to Gabriela and you want to have a conversation. She tells you, I'll come to you later. What is she doing? She's limiting your access to her time and her attention. You may see her chatting away in the kitchen later, but all that is a break time that she uses to actually decompress. And when she goes back to her desk, she knows how to actually get down to work and focus deeply on her work, and she doesn't get distracted. That's Gabriela. All of these habits didn't just get there by mistake. She didn't just learn it by watching someone. People consciously recruit the right habits into their life. If you want to perform at a certain level, you have to start picking the right habits that will help you perform at that level. There are certain habits that we all need to develop. Some of them are called keystone habits. And you see that some of those habits, they cut across many areas of our lives. For example, you see someone starts to exercise and very quickly they start watching their food intake. I'm sure Joseph can attest to that. You don't want to go to the gym, work out for 45 minutes and then get home and start eating a massive bowl of, things that it's not healthy or wouldn't help you. So these guys, they know how to recruit the right habits into your life and key habits that they need that will help, mold and shape other areas of their life. So it's important. And today I'll try and share with you some key stone habits that you need in your life. You see again that, for example, if you have the habit of exercising, it will also affect how you sleep, because if you exercise, you get home, you feel a little bit tired and you get better sleep. When you sleep better, you're able to focus better the next day at work. You see, that exercise is a keystone habit, and it carries across different areas of your life and it helps you perform even better. So recruiting little habits like that, especially the keystone habit, is very important. And it's important that we actually look at recruiting habit. I don't want us to be seeing people who perform at a very high level, and that's why I'm bringing up Gabriela. And we all know one or two Gabrielas who perform at a very high level. Her work is top quality. When you go closer, you see that she's actually doing very well at her work. So they're not superhumans. Those habits, they had to recruit it. And the one I spoke about there, deep focus, it's a habit that you can learn. It's not just something that comes naturally. Some people sit down and develop this habit of deep focus, and it actually helps. If you perform work and you're not heavily focused on that work, you'll see that work doesn't have much value, But when you're very focused, and there's a book about this, it's called Deep Work by Carl Newport, I think. He explains the habit of deep work. If you actually recruit deep work, you'll be able to focus intensely on your work, and until you're done, you don't move away from that work. There's another habit as well that's key performance, and I this is one that I actually like. I like it a lot, and I've been trying to actually bring this into my life, and it is working wonders. It's called scheduling. I explained this in module 3 in the time management module. It's called scheduling distraction time. You see, a lot of people have, we all have distractions in our life. But what's funny is you put on your phone and you want to go, and you want to focus on your work now. That's when you remember, oh, my mom called me last night. I need to return that phone call. Then you pick up your phone again. Sorry about that. You pick up your phone again to return a phone call. That's distraction right there. And every time you get distracted, you're losing time, because it takes time again for you to come back to where you were, regain focus and actually continue performing the way you were performing. So by scheduling your distraction time, what I do is when I'm working, anything comes to mind, I need to text Joseph later in the day. I write it down. That's my distraction note. Okay, I'm scheduling all the distraction. I know what time of the day I'm gonna have to attack those distractions and actually get through them, so that when I get to it and it's time for my distraction, I actually answer all of them all at once. And then when I come back to work, I don't have to start thinking about what I didn't get to. It's a small habit called distraction time, but you have no idea how much time you lose when you're always distracted from your work. It's a huge amount of time. It's a huge amount of time, and that's why it's important. I really like that habit. It's called scheduling your distraction time, and there's a lot of them. I will share them with you as we go along. So that is the reason why we need to recruit habits into our lives. But now let's go a little bit about the mystic about habits. My phone, sorry, now I just make a little bit of a small announcement here. My phone is a little bit far away from me, guys. On Instagram, my phone is a little bit far away from me. I hope you guys can hear me loud and clear. If you don't mind, if you can just use the link in my bio to join us here, you'll be able to see what I'm sharing on my screen. Okay. You'll be able to engage with what we're doing here a lot more if you can see my screen. Now let's talk a little bit about habit itself. There's a bit of mystique around habits. Where do they come from? Why do I behave the way I behave? Even though I don't like this thing, why do I keep doing it? So as we go into habits, there's always the area of motivation. Some people think Gabriella behaves or performs the way she behaves because she's very motivated. But my argument is, if you're always waiting for motivation, what about the day you're not motivated? You're gonna feel like, what about the day you just don't have the motivation? You won't feel like doing what you normally do, and fixation on your end goal, thinking about your goal all the time to motivate you, will lead you to always try to perform at the max. Imagine someone trying to lose weight. You go to the gym, you want to lose 5 kg or something. What are you going to do? You're going to go to the gym and just hit the gym hard, try to do as much exercise as possible. But what happens there is eventually, it gets to a point, you just want to quit because this is way too hard. And that's why even motivation itself, you can't bank on motivation. You can't expect yourself to be motivated every day. And that's why you need to recruit habits into your life. If you recruit habits into your life, those habits actually just go on performing automatically as you go along. Studies have shown that over 40 to 45% of what we do every day are all habits. Habits you had to learn at some point in our life. Whether it's even sitting down or everything we do on a daily, not everything, 45% of everything we do on a daily basis are all habits that we had to pick up at some point in our life. Think about the first time you ever drove a car. How difficult it was. Now you just get in the car, you don't even think about it, because it has become part of you. But if you're waiting for motivation to drive that goal, you can't bank on motivation. You will not be motivated every day, and eventually that's when you see people quitting on their big goal. To be able to bring about your big goal and the change that you want, you have to become the change you want. You have to change yourself before that change can happen in your life. Some people have it the other way around. They think by having something, then they become something. No, you have to become first before you can have what you want. If you don't become, and someone becomes a millionaire just out of nowhere, and you don't know anything about money, you don't know how to handle money, guess what happens? I'm sure we all do. We all know what happens to someone like that. Eventually, you lose all that money. You lose all the money because you don't know nothing about money. But if you become someone who understands money, who understands wealth creation, when the money comes, you know how to manage the money. You understand? So, and that's why you have to become the change that you want. You have to develop those habits, and those habits are what will carry on. Don't think about becoming a podcaster or having a goal as a podcaster. What you need to be thinking about is, how do I become someone who creates content, rather than thinking about, I want to be the biggest YouTube channel, I want to be a big time podcaster. Think about becoming someone who creates content. When you change yourself from, someone who doesn't like to create content or someone who doesn't do this thing, and you become that person, eventually you see it translate into your goal. Don't think about, don't have a goal of, don't think about becoming rich, but become someone who is great at managing their finances, who knows how to save, who knows how to bring in more money. That's what you need to become for you to get that goal of riches. The goal is not to get into a perfect shape, to lose 5 kg, to go from size 18 to size 14. The goal should be someone who exercises regularly, someone who eats right. That's what you should be thinking. So you should be thinking about, how do I become someone like that? How do I change my habits? How do I change who I am, rather than obsessing every day about the goal? The goal is going to make you want to exert maximum effort, and maximum effort only leads to quitting. I'm sure you've seen that many times. So any action plan you have, you need an established habit for it. See, people ask themselves, okay, I want to become this, I want to become that. But you're asking yourself to go to the gym and exercise 5 times a week. And that's not who you are. So how are you going to exercise 5 times a week if it's not who you are? How are you going to eat good food, eat healthy, if that's not who you are? You have to become someone who eats good food, who exercises. Then you can see the changes that you want in your life. You need an established habit to perform, to get to that action plan, to perform what you need. If you think about driving for a moment, the first time you got into the car, think about how stressful it was, and this goes to how you develop habit. But when you repeat that habit or repeat those actions often enough, what happens is, come back to that, what happens is your brain starts to recognize all the neurons that go. Don't worry about the scientific jargons now, okay? Just focus on the point that I'm trying to make. When you keep repeating the same actions, your brain starts to recognize every neuron that gets activated every time you do that. And eventually you find that it becomes a habit. When you repeat anything enough, even just driving that was stressful on the first day, it becomes a habit. Now, that's an ugly baby. Let's get a better. I don't know why someone will get this costume for Halloween. Well, that's a much nicer looking baby. All right. So here's a baby. Okay. Baby's crying, probably hungry, but the baby doesn't know what he or she needs, right? Baby doesn't know. He's just crying because he feels agitated, feels uncomfortable. What happens is, I think I have a few more people, sorry, I'm breaking to make this announcement. I have a few more people joining us on Instagram. If you use the link in my bio, you'll be able to see what I'm sharing on my screen. You'll be able to interact and engage with us a whole lot more. I'm sharing good stuff on the screen. Please use the link in my bio to join us, and you'll be able to see what I'm sharing. Thank you. So let's come back to this baby. Baby feels agitated, not happy, but he doesn't know that he wants food. So mommy picks up the baby, and the mommy gives the baby some food, and the baby calms down. Let me explain to you what happens in that sequence. The baby's brain recognizes that the baby is probably starving or thirsty. and puts the baby into agitation by secreting some hormones. Don't worry about what hormones are, okay? If you remember in your biology in secondary school, hormones are chemical messengers that are produced in the brain, and they tell your body how you're feeling, right? For example, if this room gets too dark, my brain will start producing melatonin, and that will put me into a sleepy state. It's just, they're just hormones, but they let you know how they let you respond to the environment and tell you how you're feeling. Okay, those are hormones. So this baby felt that they're not feeling comfortable. Okay, felt uncomfortable, and the brain secreted that hormone called noradrenaline. Don't worry about any of that. And noradrenaline put the baby in an agitated state. But when the mother picked the baby up, gave the baby what the baby wanted, the baby felt a little bit of dopamine. Dopamine is a feel-good hormone, okay? And the dark side to dopamine is it's another hormone. The dark side is it's also implicated in addictive behaviors. So, but it's a feel-good hormone. When anything happens to you and makes you feel good, that's the hormone that's been released, and your brain knows that hormone. It recognizes it. It likes the hormone. So every time that hormone is being secreted, it tells your brain that this action made me feel good. So it will remember the sequence of action that led to you feeling good. Crying, being picked up, and then you felt good. Crying, being picked up, being fed, you felt good. The brain is going to remember that. All right. You know you need to get to the office fast. Although you don't know how happy you are when you get to the office, but just driving and arriving at the office, boom, now you feel a bit of relief. You made it on time. The brain knows that. There's a tiny bit of dopamine released, and that's why you quickly master driving. You don't even think about all the steps that's involved. You clutching down, changing the gear and everything. Your brain knows all of those actions because it leads to you feeling good. So all of those actions that leads to you feeling good, your brain knows all of them, and that's how habits are created. Okay, it knows all the neurons that was activated that led to you feeling good, and that's how habits are created. I'll tell you why all of this matter in a few minutes. Okay, so that's the first part. Okay, but there are sometimes when you don't feel agitated, but you just know that you have this habit. Okay, not all habits involves you being agitated. Whether it's a thing of you juggling or cycling, anytime you repeat any habit anyway, your brain knows all the neurons that gets activated. Okay, every time you repeat any action, couple of neurons get activated, and every time you repeat it, activated. Over time, that set of neurons become weaker, and that pathway is called neuronal firing, that whole process of you mastering a skill. But the neuronal pathway that leads to you performing that action, whether it's you cycling or whatever, your brain knows that, and it becomes stronger and stronger and stronger and stronger over time, that you don't even think about it anymore. And the reason why your brain don't want you to think about it is your brain consumes a lot of energy. I think up to 20% of all the energy that we use goes straight to the brain. So it wants to optimize, not use as much energy. So it wants to make as many actions as possible. It wants to make them all automatic. So that's why it keeps record of what you're doing and map out that neuron and make sure that they are activated every time. Get stronger as those signals fires across those pathways. Get stronger and stronger, and then the skill is mastered. Your brain doesn't care whether it's a good habit or if it's a bad habit. If you keep repeating it over time, it gets mastered. And this brings us to the point how to develop the habit. Okay, so today I'm going to share with you 7 steps on how you can develop any new habit. Okay, 7 steps on how you can develop any new habit. All the science I just explained there, don't worry about it. The only thing you need to take away from it is that if you repeat any action over and over and over again, Your brain knows the pathways. It knows all the neurons that gets fired every time you repeat that action, and over time it becomes stronger and stronger. And if you have dopamine, especially if you feel good after you perform it, if you feel really good every time you perform it, it becomes stronger, you feel happier, and it becomes almost addictive because the brain likes anything that produces dopamine. So if it's something that makes you feel good, you get addicted to it very quickly. If it's something that, some habits you develop them out of necessity, out of urgency. From childhood to about the age of 25, the degree of brain plasticity, which is the ability to like learn something new, even new languages. You see why that's why it's easier for kids to learn new languages. 3 languages without accent, they can learn very easily. The reason is because their brain is very malleable at that stage. When you get to around the age of 25 and older, your brain doesn't change as much as it used to when you're younger. So it takes a good bit of urgency when something happens to you, oh, my chest, I think I'm having a heart attack. Then you get to the hospital and the doctor says, no, but you need to be exercising, Mr. XYZ. Okay, because your cholesterol level and all that stuff. And then you're like, okay. The next day you're at the gym. Why? Because you just got a head scare. So you need to start exercising. That's urgency right there. And it will make your brain want to actually form a habit very quickly because there's some sense of urgency. But when there is no urgency, you can't see what you need the habit for. It's difficult to develop the habit. That's why there needs to be some sense of urgency. And as I take you through this, you start to see there's a very important part there where you need to get to the point of your why. Why do you need this habit? If you can get to why you need the habit, then if you can get to why you need the habit, you'll be able to internalize. Sorry, I was just thinking about something else there. You're able to internalize why this habit is important to you. It's not just something that you're doing because it will make you please someone else. It has to be internalized, and once you internalize it, you can see how it translates into other areas of your life. It becomes something that you really, really want to develop. So that's the first part there. Me introducing you to what is habits, why do you need these habits in your life, and good or bad habits, where they come from. Hopefully now at this stage you can see that there's not so much mystery behind it anymore. Why we behave the way we behave. It's just a bunch of neurons. They get activated every time you perform an action. And if it's a feel-good action, you're going to get a huge boost of dopamine, and it's going to make your brain want to do it over and over and over again because, the brain likes dopamine. Right, so I'm going to share something else now with you. And there's a lot more explanation in the course itself. Even about the 7 steps, there's a lot of explanation. There's a lot of slides, a lot of the videos are there to really, really explain all of this and dive deep. I understand that, the time constraint here. So when you do this on your own and you listen to it, even when you're driving to work, you can listen to the course and it will explain very deeply what I'm talking about here and all the bits and pieces to it as well. So it's important that you listen to this again in your own time. And then use this workbook that I'm about to share with you guys when you go and actually do the course for yourself. One thing about this course is this, which is another good thing. I can keep saying to people, I don't like the educational system where they use tests to determine whether someone is smart or not. I can keep saying that and then go ahead and put a test in my course. I just decided I'm not going to put a test. What I'm actually going to do, or what I did, is I put in something that you can actually use every day. It doesn't matter what habits you want to recruit. You can use this. You can use this workbook. I'm going to share it with you now. Just a moment. Thank you, everyone. If you're joining us on Instagram, I'm very happy to have you all there. Very grateful. I'm very pleased to have you. Again, you can use the link in my bio to join us, and you'll be able to see what I'm sharing on the screen. Okay, I have a good bit of information here on the screen, so please feel free to join us using the link in my bio. It's very, very quick and easy. Okay, you literally just enter your name and probably an email address, and you're here with us. You'll be able to see what I'm sharing here. Okay, so this is the workbook itself, and like I said, I want people to be able to use this every day, you know, to map out any habits you want to recruit. As you go through it, you'll see why it's really important. And like I spent a good bit of time doing this workbook, and a lot of work really went into it. I am very proud of it. I'm happy to see it. I hope you guys will actually make use of it, because it's quite good, to be honest with you. I have used it before. I have I mean, the formulas in the workbook, I've used it. I know it works. Okay. There are 7 steps, like I said, to recruiting any new habit. But as we go through it, you start to see how those 7 steps, how they come through in this. Okay, I can list them out for you, but using this workbook makes more sense and makes it easier to go through. All right. So the first is acquire one worthwhile habit at a time. Number 2 is you need to have an explicit behavior statement, like a contract, what you're going to do, when are you going to do it, how much of it are you going to do, who's going to make sure that you actually get it done. You know, you need to have a contract with yourself. And if you don't do it, if you don't perform it on a daily basis, what are you going to give up? Okay. You need to take this very seriously. You know, it's something that really affects your life, so you must take it very seriously. Number 3 is make the daily action tiny. I'll explain why that is very important when we get to it. And number 4 is you stack on a pre-existing daily routine. Number 5 is you have to optimize the starting line. Don't worry, I'll explain all of these. Number 6 is make the new behavior attractive. Okay, some things are just not nice to do, then don't feel very good, like going to the gym. I'm sure Joseph knows. Keep mentioning Joseph when it comes to exercise. Sorry, Joe. And then number 7, the last one, is keeping score. So don't worry about that list. Here's what matters. This workbook. Okay, if you actually go through this workbook, you will come up with how the habits you need to recruit and how you're actually gonna make this work. Okay, now let's go through it. This is a fillable worksheet, so you can actually pull this up on your phone or on your tablet, on your computer, and you'll be able to write into this workbook. Okay, so I've picked a habit here, and the habit is the first question is what goal do you want to achieve? Why are you recruiting this habit? You need to design for the behavior that leads to the result you want. Okay, so we want to work it backwards. Some people want a result in their life and they're trying to push for that result. But in this course, I'm telling you to leave the weight loss for now. I want you to actually thank you, Joseph. He says, it's okay, bro. Feel free to mention as much as you want. Yes. If you drop us your Instagram handle there, people may be able to copy that and join you the next time you go on your live workouts as well. You know, whatever you want to do, it's fine. So the first step is you need to design for the behavior you want. Forget about the goal. Okay, you want to lose weight? Yes, we know. Okay, at this stage, you want you to just forget about what goal you're trying to pursue. You want to make more money. You want a better job, a better career. You want all of that. We know. Forget about that for now. Let's focus on what behavior will actually bring that. Okay, we're working backwards. So, but first, what's the goal? Where are you trying to get to? And module 2 actually explains how to plan out a goal. Okay, I'll explain the entire 3 modules to you guys again when I finish what I'm doing now. But module 2 is about how you go from, oh my God, I wish I can have 15,000 euro in my account. You know, I don't even know how to save money. You go from, I wish I had the bridge body. I wish I had this. I wish I had that, to from wishing to actually being specific. You know, I wish I have a nice body. What does that mean? What does a nice body mean to you? Okay, I want to lose 5 kilograms. That's a more specific goal. And that's where that's the way I want you guys to lay out your goal. I want to go from size 38 to size 34. Sorry, waist 38 to waist 34, or size 18 to size 14. That's specific. That's how you need to be about your goal. I would like to have a better career. That's not a specific goal. What does that even mean? Okay, you need to be specific about what you want. And module 2 actually explains that a little bit more. But yes, first point is write out your goal. What's the goal you want? Where are you trying to get to? You just write into that sheet. You'll be amazed what happens when you actually write these things down, guys. It's wanting to have them in your head, but when you start writing it down, and my friend was saying to me the other day, she goes, if I write them down, then it starts to stress me out. Yes, that's what happens. When you write them down, they stress you out, because now you're committed. It's like you're making a commitment to yourself. I'm going to do this thing. But when you don't write them down, when you don't achieve it, doesn't make jack shit to anybody, because, you know. But when you write them down, you feel embarrassed. You feel a sense of guilt when you actually don't perform it. And that's why this workbook is very important. And I wanted to make sure you guys have a workbook to actually write these things into, and not just have it in your head or at the back of an envelope. So now we know the goal. We know where we want to get to. What habits do we need to recruit to get there? So, for example, we know to lose weight or to be in a better physical shape, we will probably need to exercise. Okay? At this stage, you don't need to get down into the details of how much you need to exercise, how you need to improve your sleep, but just all the habits that you feel like will actually get you there. You'll see later that some of these habits will not even matter, you know, but fine. Just write down the habit that you feel like you need. That's exercise. You may need to sleep better. You may need to have a better diet. I'm not a fitness instructor. I'm not a fitness expert. So a fitness expert will be able to tell you more. Of course, when you need to actually, when you go into any goal like this, you would actually need to do a bit of research on the best plan for you to actually make it work, right? Okay. So let's say we have now all the habits that we think we will need, and we're going to try and recruit those habits. Well, let's go down here. Next thing is, which was our number 1 day, you can't recruit all of those habits in one go. You need to pick one worthwhile habit that you're going to recruit at a time. One habit at a time. The reason is because if you have too many habits that you're trying to master at the same time, you may have a situation where either the reward or the cue, I'll explain what cues and reward mean. Either the reward or the cue, they may be clashing. The cue is this. A cue is something that you see or that comes on, and it prompts you to perform the action that you perform. Okay? For example, if I like drinking wine, it may be that the minute I step into my house, I feel the urge to drink wine. Stepping into the house is a cue to me drinking that wine. And for most of the habits that we exhibit, there's always a cue. There's always something. It's probably someone. When your friend is around you, you feel like doing this. Okay? When you're in a certain place, you feel like doing that. There's always a cue that prompts you to start behaving, you know, in that manner or doing what you do. So there's always a cue. You have to, for people who are trying to change their habits, the first thing you have to do is, what's the cue? You need to figure out what's the cue, what's prompting you to behave that way. You remove the cue or you change the cue, you may actually be on your way to changing a bad habit. But there's always a cue. You have to figure out. Some people call them triggers. There's a trigger, something you see, and then, you know, you just feel like performing that habit. Okay. And the reward as well. I was going to explain that. Reward is something that you get after you perform the habits. To develop a new habit, say for example, you want to start exercising. The reward may be that at the end of your exercise, you always eat, your favorite snack or protein bar. That's your reward. You have to identify a reward, something you're going to give yourself to make you feel good. Remember, we talked about dopamine. There has to be something. You want to start exercising in the gym. Your brain knows that this is not a good thing. This is not an enjoyable thing. Doesn't want to do it. Doesn't want to exercise at all. So the only way is to actually find some source of dopamine inducing thing that you can add to that action. Once you find a reward that makes you feel really good, for some people, when I was working with someone the other time, I told them, you can no longer play your video game. It's something that he enjoys, but he didn't really know how much he enjoyed it until I took it away and I said, no more video game until you complete the research you need to be able to do the work you want to do. And suddenly it was like something a switch went off in his head. He wanted to just complete the action, okay, do the research as quickly as possible so he can get back to gaming. You have to find something that you enjoy so much. And if it's something new or something you usually do before, whatever, but you have to find something that you have to attach to that action. Until you complete the action, you can no longer have it. Sometimes if I'm feeling very, very distracted, what I do is I turn off my Wi-Fi on the computer. I put my phone on airplane mode. And in the next hour or so, I just want to do deep focus. What happens is, because I want to get back to checking, I want to see what's going on in my phone. Normally, there probably won't be anything important, but because I now know that I'm being starved of the phone, it drives me to want to actually, do my work and do it well and finish on time. Removing something that you usually enjoy from yourself can be a good source of reward. And let's come back to this. So we have identified a worthwhile habit that will get us to this goal that we want to get to. And that is exercise, one habit at a time. What would you need this habit for in the future? And now in this section here, we're just trying to get to your why, because some people, they feel like they want a habit in their life, but for some, like if you dig deeper, you find that it's not really going to help them in any way. It's probably something that they need to be able to, please someone else or something like that. So the best way, you have to ask yourself a few questions. And one of the questions is, what do I need? So what value do I want to bring into my life by recruiting this habit? Is this something you're just doing because you fancy it or because you've seen someone else do it? What value is this going to bring into my life? Where do I struggle with time, energy, and excuses? And this is going to solve it for me, Am I doing this for myself? That's another question that you can ask yourself. If you're not doing it for yourself, if you're doing it to please someone else, you might want to rethink why, because some of these habits are long-term habits. You want to recruit habits into your life for the long term, but you don't even know if this person is going to be in your life for the long term, right? Because not every friend we have is going to be in our life forever. So you can't just change yourself or change the way you behave to please someone. You got to ask yourself some of this question. Is it realistic? Is it achievable? Is it compatible? Is it sustainable? Like some habits probably do not even match your lifestyle, God forbid, someone on the wheelchair wishing to put yourself in certain shape or whatever, that doesn't really apply to you. Like you have to pick a habit that you feel like actually applies and it's achievable, it's realistic to you or to your current situation as well. So these questions here helps you to get down to your why. Why do you need this habit? What do you need it for in the future? So what other habits do I need? For example, I have an example here. I have always dreamed of being a bodybuilder, fitness instructor, or an influencer. So these are ways to get to your why. You have to ask yourself those deep questions. Why am I recruiting this habit? Because it takes time. On average, it takes about 66 days. Yeah, I think it's about 66 days to develop a new habit. To commit 10 weeks to anything, that's a long time. And this is something that you will probably have for the rest of your life. So you have to ask yourself some questions before you even get down to developing these new habits in your life. So what other habit do I need that will be useful in the future, right? So we've gone down, we were at the place where we're thinking about exercise and eating right. But when you start thinking about this a little bit more, you see that all those other habits, they're probably not what you need, right? Probably doesn't apply to you. And by digging deep into your why, you see other things that will be more applicable to your situation. Other habit that you probably need to recruit after this that will be very much more useful to you. You know, for example, I have here mindfulness and meditation. You know, a few months ago, as I was developing this course, I got like a proper shoulder injury, because when you have your hand high for a very long period of time every day doing the same thing, it starts to hurt, and I was having that back pain. There were few things I considered doing, but eventually I realized simple yoga for back and neck injury, you know, can actually help. And from that moment on, I started working on trying to, you know, develop the habit of yoga. It's just deep stretches, and I didn't have to take any tablet for it, and that back pain is gone, right? So, and I still practice that yoga. I do it all the time because I want to keep stretching my body, making sure I don't get sore, you know, get anything aching anywhere. But you know, normally some people would say go do exercise or go do this, but you have to find out what works for you in your situation, and that's the point of these questions here. Now let's get deeper into this. So the second point we had was, what's the contrast? What are we going to do? How are we going to get to where we need to go? Okay. So I have here, go to the gym on Tuesdays, Wednesdays, Friday, on the way home, work out for 40 minutes, then enjoy your favorite, enjoy your favorite protein snack after, right? So I have this here. This is what you're going to do eventually, you know, when you start, to actually lose weight. But all of this is going to trickle down and break down into something tiny to be able to achieve anything. Because if you just go first day one, trying to recruit the habit, you go 45 minutes in the gym, guess what happens? You're going to get a huge amount of stress in your body, and your brain, it tells your brain, I don't like this. It's too stressful. There is no joy here. There is no dopamine here. Stop, you know, and it drops a huge load of noradrenaline in, it's also called norepinephrine. Don't worry about that. Drops into your blood. It makes you feel like this is crap. I'm not doing this again. That's why people quit. Too much effort at the start, you know, it's just going to make your body shut down and not like it. What do? We recommend you scale down the behavior. Okay, scale down the behavior to a very, very small action every day. Okay, so small that it feels ridiculous. It feels ridiculous. If you don't perform it, you feel ashamed, you feel embarrassed for yourself if you don't perform it. You know, instead of working out in the gym for 40 minutes, my recommendation is work out for 10 minutes. Okay, just go to the gym. Doesn't make any sense. Go to the gym and work out for 10 minutes and see how embarrassed you'll feel if you can't even work out for 10 minutes. You know, the point is not how many you do in a day. It's how you repeat it over and over and over again over time. If you can do that over time, then your body starts to master it. And of course, you have to attach the reward as well to make your brain feel like this is a process that leads to feel good at the end of it. So you have to scale down the behavior to the tiniest thing. If you want to start doing push-ups every day, you know, and your goal is to be doing 50 push-ups every day, my recommendation is do 2 push-ups every day. Do 2 push-ups every day. Okay, if you do 2 push-ups every day, eventually you start to feel like you start to master it. But if you make it 50 push-ups, it'd be very quick for you to just walk away from it and quit. Okay, so and then here I have, now let's say the cue for your new behavior. Okay, so this is important now. What I have some cues here. So here's someone who probably wants to start reading every day. Okay, no, actually we're on number 4. Just number 4, we're trying to get to the cue, but my recommendation is stack on a pre-existing habit. Stack it on a pre-existing habit. Make a pre-existing habit in your life the cue for your new habit. And the way that works is, think about something that you would usually do every single day, whether it's in the office, at home, at night, in the morning. You know you do that every day. And then attach your new behavior to that pre-existing routine. Whether it's going through your emails. Okay, after I go through my emails, what I'm going to do is I'm going to turn off the Wi-Fi. Put on my headphone and pretend like I'm listening to something. And I'm going to do 1 hour of serious work. That's a habit that someone can develop, you know? And the cue is always at the end of the email, you turn off the Wi-Fi. Okay, I don't know how many times you check your email in a day, but I try to limit mine to as little as possible, because emails are huge distractions. So the end of the email, turn off the Wi-Fi. Get the email become the cue to the new behavior. And like I said, you need a cue to the new behavior, and this is a pre-existing habit that can help you get there. Do I have something else here? Okay, someone who wants to start reading every day can actually decide after your morning coffee or during your morning coffee, you pick up the book and you actually read the book while or after you finish having your morning coffee. That morning coffee becomes a cue. Every time you're having the coffee, you remember you have to read the book. Your new behavior needs to be attached to a pre-existing daily habit. Otherwise, you'll forget. When you attach it to a pre-existing habit, you'll always remember at the point of the day that you forgot to actually perform the habit. Okay? For example, if I want to start flossing my teeth every night, every night before I go to bed, there's no point in me trying to floss my teeth after dinner. I may forget, I may go off and start doing something else. I may want to clean up, I may want to do the dishes. But if I put flossing after brushing, and because it's very close together, I finish brushing, I floss. The brushing becomes a cue to me flossing every day. You see how that works? So you need something that you already do every single day, and then put the new habit right next to it. Every time you flush, you think about every time you flush a toilet. You flush the toilet, no one reminds you. You wash your hands. Okay, flushing toilet is a cue that you don't even remember that you do every day. You don't remember that you're doing it. You flush the toilet, you wash your hands. It's a cue there. Your brain recognizes it. You don't even have to think about it. And that's what you need to do. You need to put your new habit right next to something that you're already doing every single day. First, I have another example here. Someone who wants to go to the gym, but at the end of work, you feel unmotivated to actually go to the gym. So what do? It's very embarrassing when you change at work that you want to go to the gym and then you eventually drive all the way home. You will feel very bad. You will not like yourself on that day. So my thing is, as you're putting on your coat at work to leave work, actually just go change into your gym clothes, change into your gym shoes, get into the gym mode rather than I'll change when I get to the gym. You may not get to the gym. Do you get what I mean? You may actually end up going home. So instead of changing into your coats and getting ready and be like, okay, I change right now, just change into your gym clothes at work. Okay, you feel very silly if you're in your gym clothes and then you end up driving home, not working out. All right, that's you putting your new habit on top of a pre-existing habit, right? It helps you remember. Doesn't mean you're actually going to do it, but it helps you remember, and you need something that helps you remember. That's your cue, like I already explained. What daily routine would you like to stack the new habit on, and why? Okay, that's what we've just been talking about. So you write down your routine, the routine that you want to stack your habit on. Okay, pick one from all the three that you've listed. Make sure it's reasonable as well. Like if you want to do yoga, pick a time of the day where you feel like you will actually be able to do it, and find an activity around that time. If the only free time you have is in the evening, find a cue around that time of the evening that will help you remember, right? I don't know if that makes sense. Okay. The next step is you have to make the starting ritual easy. Okay. I mentioned flossing there just now. It's not a lot of effort, but it's very, very easy to forget. If you say, after my dinner, I'm going to go floss my teeth. What happens if you don't actually remember, or something happens during dinner? Like I said, if you put the flossing after brushing, your floss is always in the bathroom anyway, in your medicine cabinet, wherever you use the cabinet for. It's in there. So as you finish brushing, it takes the least amount of effort to actually floss. But if you had to get up from your dining area, walk all the way to the bathroom just to go floss, you see, that doesn't really work. Yeah. So the point I'm trying to make here is the new habit, make sure it's very easy to start. Ask yourself, is there any way that I can make the starting ritual? The starting ritual is in the minimum number of steps that you need to get through to be able to start the action. Okay. What do I need to do to make this easier for me? For someone who wants to read, like we mentioned just now, your book should not be in your library. It shouldn't be in the attic. Your book should be in the reading area. See what I mean? Or if you like to read before you go to bed, that book should be left right next to your bed corner, then it's easy for you to just pick it up and read. If you have to go looking for it, there's a good chance that you may not actually complete that action. And it's important that you keep completing the action every single day. It doesn't matter how many you do in a day. If you want to start reading, like we said earlier, scale it down. You want to just read maybe one paragraph a day instead of reading 2 pages or trying to get through as much as possible. If you want to start writing and you've scaled it down to say, okay, I'm going to write one word every day, one word that actually matters, I'm just going to write down one word. I'm scaling it down. Having that book, your notepad, right next to the bed makes it easier for you to just pick it up, write your one word, go to bed. All of these things, they all add up and they build on each other. If you apply all of them together, you see that it's very easy to develop any new productive habit. Next thing there is write down one thing you could do to make the starting ritual easy, starting ritual or daily action easier. So we already talked about that. Just make it easy for you to start. Going home to get the gym bag versus having the locker at work. Okay, if you need to get a locker at work, get a locker at work. It will make it easier for you to just change at work instead of going home to go pick up your gym bag. You're probably not going to go to the gym anymore once you get home. So now to the next point. Make the habit satisfying and gratifying. Okay, make the habit satisfying and gratifying. I think as I have it here, this is the last one. This is 2 of them together anyway. So satisfying means find something that makes you enjoy it, okay? And give yourself a reward. Another way to make it satisfying and gratifying is to make sure that you keep score. When you see yourself marking off the days that you worked at on the calendar, I worked out today, worked out today, you feel happier, you feel more fulfilled, you feel like you're actually doing something. And when you're not marking them off, you feel guilty or you feel some sort of unaccomplishment. So actually marking them off is good for you. It makes you, I know when I was doing this project, okay, for example, I had it sectioned into small milestones, and every time I completed any part of it, I would be very happy and I would go off and talk to people about it. Like, I'm very excited and I'm telling people, and sometimes they may not realize why that's very important to me or why I'm so excited about it. It's because like I just completed a milestone and I'm ticking stuff off. I actually have this thing on my phone. It's a project management app. So every single milestone I hit and I mark it off, I feel really good about it. I feel like I'm progressing. I'm not there yet, but I'm progressing. I'm seeing the progress, you know. And because I'm not focused on the results, I'm actually focused on just building what I need to build. I feel really good. Yeah. And Bola says, I'm so happy to be here, learning so much. Thank you so much. Thank you, Bola. I'm very pleased that you are. Thank you, thank you, thank you. So marking all those off, I have, this is not an app itself, but what I did is I took a link to a website. Okay, I'm not sure if you guys can copy it off. I'm just, okay. What I do is I copy it off now and I just put it on the chat and then you guys can save that somewhere. It's a link to a lot of tracking apps. So whatever habit you want to develop, just you can use one of these tracking apps and track your progress as you go along. There's a good bit. I think there are 20 tracking apps there. So you pick the one you like. I don't use any of them. I use the one for project management, which is Asana, and Asana is different from habit tracking apps. So you pick the one that actually works for you and you can download it. Actually, maybe one of these days I'll do a review on the best tracking apps, but then I'll have to download all of them. Probably not gonna do that. Probably not gonna do that. But anyway, yeah, take the link and see what app work for your need. So, and reward yourself when you finish what you're doing. It makes your brain remembers that this is a feel good thing, you know, even though the exercise is difficult. And because you scaled it down as well, you've removed the need for motivation. It's really, really small. It's only 2 push-ups a day or 10 minutes of workout in the gym. How hard can that possibly be? You know, you've changed into your work clothes. So you changed from your work clothes to your gym clothes and you went to the gym to do only 10 minutes. And on top of that, when you were done, you ended up eating a nice protein bar. You know, who doesn't like that? You know, that's all. That sounds all good to me, I feel. And whatever works for you, whatever makes you enjoy the process, whether it's bringing a friend along or telling yourself what you're going to give up as well. You know, it's not just only rewarding yourself. You can also give up something any day you fail to perform the action. For example, you tell someone, I want to lose weight. Your housemate or your roommate, you're living together. I want to lose weight. Let's reduce how much ice cream is in the freezer and all of that stuff. And she's working with you. There has to be some kind of, you know, something that you have to give up. If you don't perform it, you don't go to the gym today. We're not eating ice cream anymore in this house because of it. There's no ice cream in the freezer. We're reducing the sugar intake because I'm trying to support you. And you're not going to the gym. You're not doing what you're supposed to do. So of course you need to be punished for it. Well, I don't want to use the word punish, but you need to give up something every time you don't do it to actually keep you. So that's why I like sometimes when you involve someone, if you have someone who will actually motivate you and keep you going. But you have to establish when you actually perform the action, what's the reward? If you don't perform the action, what will it give up? Okay, it helps as well to have someone that keeps you accountable. Well, ultimately, you may not. I didn't include that in this list because some people, that may become an excuse. I don't have anybody motivating me, and that's why I didn't include that on this list, because I want your motivation to be yourself. If you've scaled it down enough and you know what you get at the end of it, and you know you're developing a new habit, that will then be like a boat for your goal. Once you develop this, just think about it for a moment. Once you develop this goal, this habit, you can literally put any goal on top of it, and it will help you just execute the goal every single time. It's like developing a ship that will always keep carrying any goal that you want. So it's very important to get a habit established first. Once the habit is established, then you can just go on firing and doing any goal. Just like Gabriella, she doesn't have to think about it. You don't have to think about what you're doing, that you're going to be productive every day. You just have a set of habits, set of established habits that every day you go on performing just like that. And you don't even have to motivate yourself because that's who you are. I want that to become who you are, and you no longer need to motivate yourself. Okay, so we're coming to the end of the habits. We've done the science of it, and we've explained. I've taken you through the workbook for the habits to explain how to actually recruit your habits. whatever habits that you want. Have a long list here of any habits, but it's really up to you. And this list shouldn't be any guide for anything, okay? But there's a good bit of nice, lovely habits there that can help you in your day-to-day life: exercise, reading, sleep, writing, tracking what you eat, meditating, planning out your day or your week, eating home cooked meals. You know what happens when you eat at all the time. Of course, you spend a lot more money, but when you start eating at home, then you save more money. So saving money, visualization. I love visualization. Sometimes in the morning when you wake up, no one is there, no one is thinking, look out the window and just try and think about, things. Visualize the life you want. That's module 2. It's really important. It's really important. Module 2. It's right there. Anyway, positive thinking can be a habit as well. How to just block out negative stuff and just say, I'm only going to think about the positive, And even when something bad goes wrong, ask yourself, what's the positive out of this? What did I learn from this? It's positive thinking. Low information diet is another one that I love so much. I tell people all the time. People ask me, what about the news? I'm like, tell me what's happening. I always like people to tell me what's happening, what's going on in the news, because I don't want to have to go there and start reading too many stuff. I like to limit the amount of information that I take in. It's important because there's just way too much noise out there. I want to only read what I need for, for the future, what I need for what I'm doing. So low information diet is a habit. It's not for everyone. Some people like to know everything and it helps them. But for me, the less I know about stuff that are not relevant, the better for me. Plus, again, I talked about the memory thing. So, yeah, only stuff that are important. So, what else? Yoga that I already love and I'm already doing that. Deep focus. There's a lot more on that in module 3, the time management module. Respect for the environment is very important to some people. Praying, giving to charity, tend to your spiritual needs, which is self-healing and transcendence, and scheduling. Okay. And some bad habits that some people would like to lose as well: quitting social media, quitting caffeine, cold showers, starting a passion project is actually a positive thing. Downsizing is another positive thing. Some people just like to keep everything. Sometimes if you learn how to minimize and just declutter things that you don't need in your life, things that are taking up too much space. When you declutter and get rid of things that you don't need in your house, you feel like your brain just kind of calms itself down. You can see things better, you can think better, you feel more happy. So it's a habit of decluttering. Something else that you can actually do is you can recruit as well. So it's up to you. If you go through the workbook, you will see what habits is important and necessary for your life. It's completely up to you what habits you want to recruit. So we've gone through the whole habits and how to recruit habits. So again, this is part of the course, Accelerated Performance course for the top 10%. And this is only module 1. And of course, if you listen to it, there's a whole lot more information in the actual, when you listen to it in the course itself, there's a whole lot more. I have to kind of trim it down so that I'll be able to fit into the time span that I've been given here. The other 2 modules, the goal mastery, which I kind of hinted at earlier. The goal mastery takes you from I wish to actually, one day you plan out your entire goal. You go from, oh, I wish I could do this. Oh, I wish I could have a college degree. Oh, I wish you just plan it out. Okay, I don't have the money. What am I going to do? I'm working 7 days a week. Maybe I need to reduce that to 2 days a week. This I need to do, that I need to do. And then before you know it, you have the entire layout of your goal, and you know what you need to do tomorrow. You know what you need to do next week. That's goal mastery. That module there takes you from wishing to actually planning out your entire goal, and you execute the goal and you monitor key metrics that are essential for your success. Not all metrics are essential for your success. For example, someone goes, I've been going to the gym for the past 2 months. I'm not really getting anything out of it. Yeah, but how are you working out? And what are you monitoring? if you're monitoring the wrong metric, you may feel like you're not doing enough. You feel like you're not doing enough. So that's the goal. That's the goal mastery module. And the third module is time management. Time management teaches you how to, forget about everything that doesn't matter and focus on only the things that brings most of your results. If you focus on the things that brings most of your results, you'll see that you keep getting good results in your life. But when you're focused on all the other little bits that doesn't really matter, you're always distracted with things that don't matter. You find that, you're busy all week, you do a lot, but your life doesn't change. Your life doesn't move forward. Why? Because, you haven't mastered the use of your time. Some people go into a meeting and the first thing you hear them say, I have to leave in half an hour. What they've done is they've limited your access to their time. Okay, you're not going to be angry when they have to leave. It's all mental. It's all habits. It's all a way of actually managing their time better. And the time management module shows you how to actually eliminate all the things that don't matter from your day and focus on only the things that matter. You find that you're not spending too much time anymore. You're doing less, but you're achieving more. Do less, achieve more. Do less, achieve more. You're doing less, you're achieving more because you're only focusing on the things that actually matter and bring the majority of your results. And that's the module 3. So that's great. That's the 3 modules. I'm going to send out for everyone here present. I'm going to send out a link where you can actually join the course. It's only, if you go on the Udemy website, it's always, let's see. Okay. So if I send you this link, you'll be able to get the course for only $9.99, the entire course and its lifetime access. But on a normal day, that's the price. It's $119. It's the normal price. And even when they do promotions, the least you can get the cost for is $29.99. €30. That's the least you can get it for. But with the link I'm about to send you, you can actually get the cost for $9.99. The entire 3 modules for $9.99. And so it's a limited time offer as well. Please, if you want to get it as soon as possible. It's not going to be there forever. It's only there's only 4 days left where you can get that course for that price. After that 4 days, it's back to the normal price again. So it's 92% off. And I will send a link to you guys now if you want to purchase that course. I put the link here. And I also send it to your emails as well. So I'll encourage if you go in straight away and just, actually, let's see, how many people do we have here? There's only, okay, so I send you on a code, and the code might be able to just get you in full access. If you register right away, you can get full access right away. If you just give me a moment, and we'll send you this code. It's my email. Okay. Okay, so I've sent you another code there. Ignore the first one. And for the people who are online right now, if you just click on that link, you get full access right away. Just register right away. I don't know. I don't think that is going to last. I think it's only till tonight. So if you just click right now, you'll be able to join the course full access free of charge on that with that link. So if you can't do it now because you're using your phone, you can do that when we finish, but just go in and join as soon as possible. And for anyone else who isn't here right now, you're probably going to get it for $9.99 for the next 4 days. And then after that, it's back to the full price. And there's nothing I can do about that. So let's see what it looks like. All right. So you see, it's free. And for those of you here right now with that code, you just go in and enroll right now and you get it full access. That's it. My way of saying thank you, because I'm happy. It's been really successful, so I am super, super happy. I can't complain. It's been really great. So I'm gonna try and end this here. And one last thing I'm just gonna mention for the people left online. One last thing is, okay, I'm allowed to create 3 coupon codes in a month. So for the first 3 people who emailed me, the thing is, if you love the course and you feel like there are people out there who would love it, that you can actually give it to, and you can sell the course. It's a way for all of us to make some money. You know, like we all have to eat when we eat. So if you want to sell the course, text me, DM me as soon as this, and not on the chat now. Just DM me on Instagram immediately, and I'll do a coupon code for you. It's first come, first serve, because I only have 3 coupon codes. I can only create 3 coupon codes in a month. So first come, first serve. If you want to sell the course, send me a DM, and I will do a coupon code and send it to you. Probably do it as 50% off. So the thing is, for whatever you sell, this is not like APN or one of these Avon thing where you sell, you only get 10%. Whatever you sell, you get 50%. 50% goes straight to your account for whatever you sell. So it's up to you how many you sell. You sell 50%. Send me all I'll need is your PayPal account. If you don't have PayPal account, your IBAN, wherever you want the money to go to, you get 50% as you sell. Anything you sell on the course is up to you. It's just my way again of saying, yeah, we all get something out of this. 50% from whatever you sell. Let me know if you want to be part of that. It's first come, first serve. I can only do for the first 3 people who email me, and that's it. I think we've come to the end of this live webinar, and I am so grateful for having you all here. It's been a huge boost of encouragement. I didn't think I'll ever be able to do this, to be honest. I did not. It's been a journey. It's been a journey. I didn't think I can do this. I actually did a webinar. I did a webinar. It's mad. Like sometimes you just have to challenge yourself. The areas that you thought you'd never be able to go to, just attempt it and see what happens. Like, you know, you're not going to explode. So that's it. If that inspires anyone, thank you. Well done. Thank you for being here as well. Yes, but that's it. Thank you all once again for being here. I am once again Dr. Harrison Amordian, and this is the Accelerated Performance course from HO Learning Resources. Feel free to use the link and register for the course right now. And that's me saying thank you, and I'm closing out. Thank you very much, sir. Thank you. Amen. Thank you. Thank you, Bola. God bless you. Thank you, everyone. I hope you have a wonderful Saturday. Thank you, everybody. I'm very grateful. Thank you. And that's it. Bless everybody.